Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's so great to have you with us. We have Mike, Momo, Rachel. Today, we're discussing a topic that I think many of us go through and experience, and that topic is giving. Last time we spoke, and if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, I would strongly suggest it. We spoke about how we can moderate or balance the energy we receive. When we receive too much or over-receive, sometimes it doesn't equal blessings, doesn't equal fulfillment. We talked about, imagine our body and our life is an energy store or a warehouse. Last module, which I strongly suggest you listen to, which is about receiving desire, we talked about how to balance the energy that comes in to our warehouse. Today, we're speaking about how to balance the energy that we export from our warehouse. Many of us grew up learning that giving is a very powerful thing. We should give whatever we have. We should give to those that don't have. We should give our time. We should give our energy. But I think as we've all experienced, giving doesn't always lead to the best results. So today, or in this module, in this topic, we're going to be discussing how to maximize our giving and how to make sure we don't get into situations that we don't like or that don't bring us fulfillment. So, Momo, do you have any examples of either where giving was a good experience or giving was a bad experience for you?
So sadly, I do have one or a few where giving was a bad experience.
Oh no.
Don't worry, we'll just start with the one. I don't want to take your whole day here. So there's a person who, when I first met them, right, they were very new to the area. They didn't know anybody. And so I had out of my friend group, I felt like I needed to put in all the effort to make this person feel welcome because I didn't trust anyone else to do it. So I ended up putting so much time and so much effort in with this person in such a short amount of time. Like within a month, I probably spent 3 to 4 days with this person every week, right? Like a lot of time and energy.
Damn.
And I overdid it because now every time this person even texts me, I want to throw my phone at the wall. Like they ask me a question, I'm like, oh my God, how do I deal with this? They're just going to suck my energy dry. But I did it to myself, right?
What do you mean? What kind of questions?
It could literally be like, hey, how
know?
was your day? And I swear I'm ready to throw my phone, out the window. Like, I just don't want to deal with it. Like, go away from it,
What, and you're saying it happened. You're saying you attribute that to the fact that you spent 4 days a week with them and giving them a lot of energy?
100%, because I basically now feel like, even though I don't really hang out with them much anymore, every time they text me, I'm like, oh my God, the amount of energy I once put in is going to be necessary to interact with them now. And I don't have it. I'm sorry. Get out of here.
Interesting. You set a standard of what this person expects, how much energy, attention, answering questions. And now when that person comes back to receive that full standard, you're not ready to give it and you feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, because if I
Rachel,
don't, they'll be like, wait, you don't like me anymore.
All the time that happens to me.
Yeah, and listen, it happens to me as well. And I think we've all experienced it where we give our energy, we put it, and then we realize, oh my God, now in order to give all that, I have to maintain that. And that's a lot of energy. And I have lots of other things going on in my life. So yes, so that's an example, great Momo, example of where giving sometimes leads to chaos or challenges. And what we're going to speak about in the next episode is how to distinguish, how to know whether our giving is going to lead to the challenge that Momo just experienced, where the person comes back asking for more and we don't really have all that energy to give them, or if it's going to lead to something positive. But I want to get something on the other side of the spectrum. Rachel, Mike, do you guys have a story of where your giving actually made a difference and changed a reality for you or brought you fulfillment or joy?
Well, I personally have a very I have, I guess you could say, maybe 2 stories, like short stories really, that really I think define my experience with sharing, because at the end of the day, it's a beautiful tool that really anyone could use and to do in everyday life. And I mean, whoever doesn't know, I think I mentioned in one of the other episodes that, as a kid growing up, I would basically move around a lot through schools, through different countries, even in cities. And, always being the new kid, I would always be the new kid, the kid who usually gets bullied, usually doesn't fit in with the group. And over time, you get used to it, but that's how it is in the beginning. And I remember this one school that I went, and I had this bully, and he would call me names. He would really press my buttons, and it was a hard time. And I remember coming back home and speaking with my parents, the kabbalistic teachers that they are, and I brought them this problem that I had at school. There's this kid. He's really brutal. He's a really bad kid, very bad influence. He's nonstop calling me names, pushing my buttons. What do I do? And I mean, they told me something very powerful, but I wanted to fight the guy. I wanted to hurt him. And what my parents told me, that every time you see him, just meditate to send him love. And every time you see him, tell him something good, a good thing, like "Good morning, how are you?" And the
Wow.
beginning, when I heard that, I was
Wow.
like, man, you guys are crazy. Like, why would I do that? The guy is whatever he is. I don't want to say on air, but why? Like, it didn't make sense to me at the
Yeah.
time. And so I went to school. I see the kid. He's pressing my buttons, and I'm just there. And I'm like, you know what? What do I have to lose, right? I mean, I've been in this movie already a couple times. I'll just try it out. So I start meditating for him. Day goes by. I tell the morning, hey, Louis, how are you doing, man? How's life? And like he was like kind of shocked in the beginning, but over time I started to have this mood with him where basically I would just share with him like my thoughts, and you could say prayers, and the day I just start to share with him just a kind word, a smile, a help in his homework. And slowly, it was the time I was living in Canada. I lived there for like 2 years eventually after I moved to Israel. But in the end of those 2 years that I lived in Toronto, we became really good friends. The last year we had a lot of play dates. We played a lot of Legos. We had these
That's
different like,
awesome.
early 2000
Nice.
games. I can't even mention right now, but that is, I think, like magic that sharing could have. It could
Wow.
completely change a whole person's environment and personality, and I think that's something.
I think,
Really
man, that's really powerful because you see how you literally, with your giving, you diffuse the situation. There was hostile energy. The person was coming at you. The person was making fun of you, using you as a tool to kind of be the cool and popular kid. But when you put light and positive energy and love in darkness, you literally were able to shift and transform the darkness. So really powerful. And that example is a true testament to what giving from the heart, and when doing it in the right way, which is everything that we're going to speak about in this topic and segment. Join us for episode 2, by the way, where we're going to really open up this conversation. What it can do, it can transform any form of light into darkness. It can keep something that you're holding on to for good, and you're trying to hold on to it. Then sometimes it can get lost, you lose it. Sharing it can actually keep the fulfillment coming from it. So it's one of the most powerful kabbalistic tools. But first, what we need to do is open that discussion and realize, are we doing it correctly or not? What lessons can we learn to help us to do it better, to receive maximum energy from it, and keep that warehouse sharing light with the world, giving light to the world, and diffusing situations as Mike shared. So join us for episode number 2 with Mike, Momo, and Rachel, where we're going to be opening up this discussion on giving, sharing. Mike said sharing a couple times. What's the difference between the two? How do we make sure we're doing it in a balanced way so that we can receive the most fulfillment? See you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Take care.